All right, to get started on this real quick, I just want to apologize. Yes, I've been getting over a head cold, but still wanted to make this video. Ironically, yes, it's about audio. What's up, everybody? So recently I got my hands on a Rode NTG2, which is a shotgun microphone. It's great for YouTube videos, it's great for interviews, things like that. For me personally, I've always used the Sennheiser MKE 600. So I figured, why not? Let's do a shootout between the two of them. Let's see how they sound, and let's see if we can get actual usable audio out of both of them. And normally I would say let's get started, but in reality, I've actually already been testing, and if you've caught on, yes, we've been swapping between the two of them. Let me know in the comments below if you can tell me when the mic switched. Personally, I haven't heard anything, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other yet. All right, real quick, let's go over the specs for each microphone. So to get started, both microphones are supercardioid microphones. What that means is they are super directional. Just means that wherever you point this microphone at, it is going to pick up. So for example, if I'm talking over here, then I know that the microphones are both right here, aimed down at my mouth. And if I move over here, you can hear a clear difference in the volume and probably sound quality as well. Now, for the purpose of these tests, both microphones are like literally touching each other. So they are as close as I can possibly get them. I'm using way too much equipment to hold them up. I've got two C-stands and they're like heavy duty and they're holding a microphone. It's the most overkill shit I've ever done, but testing, right? On top of both of them being supercardioid, both of them are shotgun microphones that kind of go hand in hand. Most shotgun mics are actually supercardioid. They're both battery powered. Both of them use a AA battery. You can run them with phantom power, or you can run it as a standalone from some source that's not able to provide the phantom power. Both of these microphones can actually provide it for themselves using a battery. So pro tip on that, always bring batteries with you wherever you go. Just bring a bunch of AA's, because my God, I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to use one of these and I forgot to turn it off the last time I used it. And well, there you go. Microphone's dead and you look like an idiot on set trying to find that, or go to a Walgreens or what. Just don't be that guy, okay? That's about where the similarities end. Now, the way that both of these microphones work is very similar, but their specs are a little bit different. So let's jump on into that. The biggest one for me is the Sennheiser has what's called a lower noise floor. What that means is whenever their microphone is recording the sound of nothingness, all mics kind of have a little bit of a sound. If you crank the gain on it, you can hear it between the two. And I know that the Sennheiser's is a little bit lower. So what that means is when you go to record anything, the gap between your sound source, which is the person talking, and that noise floor is bigger with the Sennheiser than it is with the Rode. For those of you who don't understand audio, that just means that the Sennheiser is going to record a little bit clearer and it's not going to have as much hiss to it. Another big difference between these two, and I haven't personally got to test this out yet, and I really don't feel like you'd ever really see a difference, but there is a 50-hour battery life difference between the two microphones. The Sennheiser lasts 150 hours, the Rode lasts 100 hours. I mean, that's almost half as many batteries as you'd be buying, but batteries are cheap, so it doesn't really, to me, that doesn't make a big difference. I'm paranoid. I don't want my stuff to die in the middle of a shoot anyway, so I'm probably going to be swapping it out long before that's ever a problem anyway. Another key difference between the two of them is where the low pass filter cuts off. Both of them have a low pass filter. However, the Rode's cuts out at 80 hertz and the Sennheiser's cuts at 100 hertz. It doesn't sound like a big difference, but what that low pass does is it's getting rid of all the rumble in a room. Like if you have an AC going or something like that, then you're gonna have that like kind of sound going the whole time. And 20 hertz can make all the difference in getting rid of that frequency. Now, that being said, in post, again, you can compensate here, but whenever you buy the Sennheiser, it's just one less thing that you have to worry about, and it's more brain power. You can focus on other creative things. Another big difference between these two is the build quality. The Sennheiser is just sturdier. The Rode is made of a little bit lighter aluminum, whereas that Sennheiser it's got some meat to it. And I can tell you from the Rode that I got my hands on, like it's seen some use, and it's kind of, you can just tell the build quality is not as refined as it is with the Sennheiser. And to be honest, with my experience with Sennheiser microphones, that's kind of a commonality with them and a lot of the other brands. They basically play the game of like, anything you can do, I can do better. However, that does mean that the Sennheiser gets to charge a little bit more. So as far as the price for these microphones, your Sennheiser's coming in at about $330, give or take. And then you've got the Rode coming in at about like $270. I found a couple listings on Amazon with some packages, and they kind of vary a little bit, but you're gonna get anything, you definitely want to get a dead cat for these guys. It makes a big difference in the wind. You can record in a windy ass day, and for my work, we filmed in it was a windy field, and I had that thing on top of my Canon, and it was crazy because I went into post and I was like, wow, yeah, I don't even hear the wind. I can see the grass blowing like around them. I couldn't hear it. No matter which microphone you go for, I definitely recommend getting one of those. So realistically, both of these mics are kind of for the same target demographic. They're entry-level shotgun mics. Yes, shotgun mics will go all the way up into the thousands, just like any other piece of equipment. And my logic with that is you have the law of diminishing returns. Now, yes, obviously a $2,000 microphone is gonna absolutely shit on a $300 mic, but not as much as you would think. The Sennheiser, when I was doing my shootout, originally I was watching a bunch of other YouTube videos, kind of just comparing and seeing what other people were getting. And I noticed that when I played them, I've got studio monitors here, and when I played them back on my speakers, I was like, okay, there is a noticeable difference in that Sennheiser, and I've always just really liked it. Now, that may change in the editing for me, and if it does, then I'll pin something to the end of this video. But realistically, I've always loved the Sennheiser sound. So personally, my recommendation is always gonna be go with the Sennheiser, but if you are trying to save a couple bucks, as you guys can see throughout this video, both of these microphones kick ass. We're switching between the two of them. I'm sure I've got it labeled on the screen which microphone I'm using, but ultimately you guys make your decisions. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and real quick, I'll show you guys, I've been switching between the two of them with my processing on it. I'll show you guys what these mics sound like raw, just completely unprocessed. I hope what this video shows, and this is kind of the big thing for me, is that it doesn't matter which microphone you use, you can get usable product out of either one of them. Like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. With that being said, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, subscribe, do all the things. It really helps the channel, and it shows that you guys actually enjoyed this stuff. Till next time, guys, make cool shit, not excuses. Peace.